We've been blessed by some great friends this week and voices from the state. And I want to start by asking how you're doing and how your community's doing.
You know, it's a very resilient community here in North Texas. We're helping one another. Very proud of the people in North Texas. Our state just absolutely failed us, in weatherizing that system. But the people have come together and they're very, very resilient and working very hard to help one another.
Does that extend to your state's leaders? I mean, a lot has been made by the missteps, at least public relations wise and policy wise, of your state's governor, who found time to go on Hannity and blame the Green New Deal.
Yeah, you can really put this at the foot of the governor's office. Because in 2011, you may recall at the Super Bowl in Dallas that year, we had an ice storm. We had hundreds of thousands of people without power. And there were reports both from the state and the federal government coming out of that ice storm blackout saying we needed to weatherize our generation system and modernize our gas pipeline system, or when we have extreme weather, gas pipelines will freeze and generators will shut down. And that's exactly what happened here. Rather than doing what the report said, the governor made a decision to not require that of any of our generators and not to modernize our pipeline system. When you're dealing with commodities and you tell companies they don't have to do something, you're telling them not to do that thing, because the commodity goes to market at the lowest possible price. And if they don't have to spend extra money, they're not going to. This was a completely predictable event. And it will happen again if we don't weatherize and modernize. The governor has not apologized, but he has said that he will weatherize. And he's asked the legislature to pass laws to do that. That's a step in the right direction. I think that the people are still owed an apology, and we've got to modernize that gas pipeline system, because our main problem was frozen gas in the lines, not being able to get to our generator plants.
I mean, what you're describing and what others have described is that even when the short-term crisis of, as the woman we heard from as we came in is worried that her husband's dialysis machine isn't working properly, people don't have power, they don't have water, you're really describing long-term changes. You still have a whole lot of Republicans in power whose reaction has run the gamut from fleeing for Cancun to going on Fox News and blaming policies that really aren't in effect. Are you confident that after the crisis, the short-term crisis has passed, that there will be a shift in the political will to do the things you're describing?
No, because what they normally do is talk a good game. But as the cycle moves on to some other interest for people, then they don't do something. After the 2011 crisis, they required energy companies to file plans as to what they were doing, but there were no minimal standards to those plans, and there was no oversight or audit of those plans. So their response in 2011 to this happening was file a piece of paper with us that we won't do anything with. In fact, the governor's team fired the CEO of the Texas Reliability Administration that's supposed to look to make sure these plants are safe. The CEO of that months ago never replaced him, and then his staff replaced that person with themselves about 3 days before this ice crisis happened. So we've really got Texans and the world need to keep their eye on this and make sure they actually follow through this time on weatherization and modernization.
President Biden announced today that if he can come without creating a burden on anyone on the ground who would be involved in moving him around his security while they're dealing with this crisis, he plans on coming. What would you say if he came and you had a chance to talk to him? What do you need from the federal government?
Everything. They've been on the phone with us, every day. I've got calls from the White House every day of this crisis, and they have just been phenomenal. They've declared an emergency. They're going to open up individual assistance for underinsured and uninsured people who have had losses. We would welcome, a leader on the ground, and so, hope he'll get a chance to come down.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.